Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said, in effect, it's my way or the highway regarding the government funding bill before Congress. In the Senate, the Republicans are trying to get their way, or at least keep the Democrats from getting everything they want. Senators are voting tonight on the first of a dozen GOP amendments. Chief Political Correspondent Carl Cameron is live on Capitol Hill with an update. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Brett. The Senate's Democratic majority suffered a very embarrassing meltdown when they failed to reach the 60 votes necessary last week, only came up with one vote short to actually end all this debate and vote on this year's budget. So it's a new week, but the scramble for that one vote continues. By blocking a vote last week, Republicans won more time to propose amendments aimed at shrinking or killing this year's $410 billion spending package. It raises spending 8.5% over last year and contains more than 8,000 pet projects, or so-called earmarks, totaling $7 billion. Republicans love reading them aloud in their quest to eliminate them.
The first amount is $200,000 to Providence Holy Cross Foundation, and it's for tattoo removal, violence prevention outreach program in Mission Hills, California.
Most lawmakers privately cherish their earmarks. Some even seek out committee assignments to ease getting them. And some even admit it.
Candidly, why be an appropriator if you can't help your state? I want to help my state. Otherwise, why do I come here?
So far, Democrats have defeated all the proposed amendments, hoping to defeat a demand by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that the original House-passed version remain unchanged. 3 amendments today are popular. One, offered by Republican Senator John Ensign of Nevada, would continue an experimental school voucher program in the District of Columbia, serving some 17,000 students, which would otherwise run out of funding this year. Another amendment by Democratic Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey would block attempts to loosen the embargo against Cuba. And senators themselves are the subject of Louisiana Republican David Vitter's amendment, which would stop lawmakers from getting an automatic cost of living adjustment each year and make it something that must be reviewed and voted on annually. But Democratic Majority Leader Harry Reid sponsored a separate standalone bill to do just that, rendering Vitter's amendment unnecessary and keeping the Senate measure unchanged per Nancy Pelosi's demand. Democrats have a 58-member majority in the Senate, but they need 60 to end debate. And they are losing at least 2 votes. Evan Bayh of Indiana and Russ Feingold of Wisconsin are breaking Democratic ranks and opposing the bill's wasteful earmarks. Democrats could also lose Bob Menendez if the Cuban embargo is not maintained. Democrats would then need 5 Republican yes votes, and they could get them. Already, Appropriations Committee members Thad Cochran and Richard Shelby have pledged to vote yes, along with Maine moderate Olympia Snowe. Republicans expect Kit Bond of Missouri, who's retiring, and Susan Collins of Maine to vote yes. And there are other possible yes votes, including Bob Bennett of Utah, George Voinovich of Ohio, Tennessee's Lamar Alexander, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania. And that is a lot of potential Republican yes votes, which is why members on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat alike, say that it is likely that tomorrow, ultimately, they will get the 60 votes that they need and get on to final passage to find out if it passes or fails. But they've made that prediction not too long ago. In fact, Brett, it was just last week, and they ate those words on Friday.
All right, so Carl, explain this for somebody sitting at home. The government doesn't completely shut down if this doesn't pass, right?
No. Last year, the Defense Department budget was passed, the Homeland Security budget was passed, the Veterans Administration budget was passed. In fact, the DOD budget was more than $500 billion. It's $515 billion. That's more than this particular budget altogether. This is what's called the discretionary spending, the stuff for which there is a choice, and it's a total of 410. Should also point out that the non-discretionary spending, meaning the entitlements, Brett, they're already paid for too. So Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, that's already been funded. This is not a government shutdown threat. This is a political dilemma for Democrats who need to get it done and can't get that one more vote that they need.
Carl Cameron live on Capitol Hill watching it for us. Thanks. President